Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we've got more of Game 71 for you. And it's a really exciting game. We've got a war between Helheim and Niflheim, and a war between Vanheim and Macone. And we've got Muspelheim as a bit of a free agent right now. So yeah, let's jump in and see what happened. I think we are going to start with this unexpected. I think this is a bump. We have Helheim moving into Ulm, which is the name of a province, in this case, not a nation. He's got a bunch of Valkyries that are going to descend on these lava-born. And then Vanheim bumps him with a pretty proper expansion force. This is 14, I believe, Van Heers. And they get absolutely butchered. Now, this is my second time recording this because the audio messed up. But I went back and deep dived this in my previous recording, so I won't feign surprise here. But I spent a fair amount of time talking about the matchup and how it will do, and I went through some of the math, and I'll do that again here. But basically, these guys, when they're Berserk, are going to one-hit kill these guys. Except that these guys have... This defense is not going to be enough once they're Berserk. Except these guys do have glamour images, which are going to be very good ablative defense. And paired with the defense skill, these guys are going to be hard to hit prior to these guys going Berserk. So prior to these guys going Berserk, this is only like, let you see it, right? These are like 13, 12 attack things. And this is because they have experience stars. Once they go Berserk, they're going to hit most of the time. But before, they're only going to hit like a quarter of the time, right? And these guys also have glamour images. There's a mechanic. We'll pause and I'll show you. Okay, so look. I was deep diving how this went because I was predicting, and I thought that like the Van here might do a bit better. Like there's a lot more Valkyrie. There's like 40 Valkyrie here. But if you look at it, I'm not sure which one of these guys we need to look at. See if we can find one. Oh, wait, this is a Huskarl. Where's this guy? So, okay, this was an example of the Van here hitting the Valkyrie. This is an example right here of the Van here attacking the Valkyrie, getting repelled because the Valkyrie has a longer weapon, that lance. And in this case, it passed the morale check, but it didn't take damage. And the reason it didn't take damage is because the way that part of the calculation works is you take the lance, you attack into them with the armor, right, which is 13. So it's a pretty even thing. If they win, like if the protection is higher than the damage, including the DRN rolls, no damage is taken. If the lance wins, then the damage is capped to 1, and this guy takes 1 damage. One of the important things is that we'll see... We won't see it here. I might have to go forward a turn or two, because you'll start seeing a lot more of them. Valkyrie hit Huskar. Oh, well, that's not what I want. This guy. Valkyrie hit Van here. Okay, Van here. Okay. Van here hit Valkyrie. Okay, so right here. This is the important bit. Or not the. This is an important bit. Right? So this... I'll go through some of these repel checks because it's kind of important for understanding how this fight plays out. Here, first of all, there's a repel, right? High attack versus low defense. Morale negated repel. This guy's already gone Berserk. Which does make me wonder how he went Berserk. If he's still... Oh, no, I know. This actually is a really technical kind of, like, mechanics-wise. This is pretty complicated. There's a lot of weird little Dominions mechanics at play here. So morale negated repel. Then the attack roll passes the defense roll, so it was a hit. The repel happens before the defense check, so it was a hit. Then there's the damage roll. Oh, so what we're not seeing here is that it doesn't. Oh no, yeah. So see how it says attack or damage by repel? That's not shown here. That's because that previous damage roll we were talking about, where it does like the cap to 1 damage from the Valkyrie weapon, that rolled less than protection, so we don't see it, right? In this case down here, the attacker did take damage. Then what happens is the way the ablative armor works is a bit different, I think, than maybe I said earlier, but Like if you have three, or let's say you have two different mirror images, right? So there's three, including yourself. When you get attacked, there's a 1 in 3 chance it hits the main one. I think this also works the same for repel. So there's a 1 in 3 chance that the repel hits the real image. If that happens, the image is lost, which is what happened here. So basically, because these guys are getting repelled all the time, this mirror image really gets ablated really quickly just by them attacking. And normally you would want this repel can also trigger berserk, which is kind of nice. That's a thing you like. And that's something we had talked about earlier in the series. But what you don't like is you don't like it taking away your mirror images. So anyway, that's all pretty important. So basically what's happening is the mirror images are getting burnt by Vanheim just by attacking, like not even on their defense. And they're very, very likely to get burnt once they go berserk. They can go berserk ahead of time, either by being hit, having their real image hit, like, because there's always a chance of that even while you have images up. And then they can also be hit by the repel triggering it, but not triggering hitting one of the mirror images. So anyway, pretty complicated, but that's one of the ways it works. The other interesting thing I'll just say about some of the mechanics here is if you factor in like how much damage these guys are doing, yeah, they get a nice charge bonus for the lance. So, you know, that's good. The first hit's going to hit a lot. But after this, once these guys go berserk, let's see if we look at somebody who's berserk here, they're going to have 16 protection. The lances themselves aren't going to do anything. They're basically just vessels for unholy weapons. However, these guys are also getting reduced stats, which is going to make it where they're not guaranteed to hit as much anymore. Like this is still, the slowing weapons actually works really well with glamour and a high defense build because it's reducing the harassment. So you're getting that for free. And you're reducing the attack stat, which is going to make defense more likely to pass. And then the fewer times you get hit, the fewer times you ablate your mirror images. So it's a really cool build. I really like it. But basically, even still, this light lance isn't going to do much, or shouldn't do much. We'll actually look at a hit here. So he hit him in the body for 6 points. So that's nice, but it's not a lot. I think, yeah. Oh, but no, this actually was a really lucky protection roll on unholy weapons. This damage actually came from the lance. Let's see if we can look at somebody else here. It's the slowing weapons, so that hit a Huskarl. Valkyrie hit Van here in the body. So this is, I think, what would be a very standard roll for one of these Valkyries. They're basically not doing any damage with the weapon, but all the damage, or most of the damage, is going to come from the unholy weapons. So this, I think, is pretty much par for the course, because you can see they're getting these second things, these pluses, or the dice rolls. So they're getting very few kind of dice, like the dice rolls are essentially normal, right? And these are, you know, they get rolling the same dice 9 here. So this is, I think, an extremely normal outcome. This is like the prototypical outcome for a Valkyrie attack. Meanwhile, if this guy hits a Valkyrie, he's gonna kill it, right? There's a ton of damage. 25 damage, 1 hit kills, right? For the most part, I mean, this guy did actually take some damage. What did he get hit by? The broadsword. Oh. This guy losing an arm? No. But, so this is interesting. It would have died here. Like I said, they should get one-tapped, but this got limb-capped. So there's a bunch of really interesting kind of arcane mechanics coming into play here. Basically, there's a mechanic where if you hit a certain part of the body, which is sort of hidden in the game engine, like if you hit somebody's arm, it might not kill them. They'll just cut off an arm. Right? If you hit their leg, you might cripple them, right? But you're not going to kill them. So basically, depending on where you hit, there's a limb cap. So basically did 12 damage, got increased to 15 from slash, should have 1 hit killed it, but damage exceeded maximum possible in the hit area, reduced to 7 points of damage. So what should have been a 1-tap actually isn't a 1-tap. Pretty interesting. If you hit him in the chest, though, it will, or in the head, it'll kill them. But if your hit gets targeted to like a limb, to an arm or a leg, there's a good chance it won't 1-hit kill. So this is absolutely, I mean, they get absolutely annihilated here. This is, I think, a really interesting fight mechanically. Not necessarily, I would have, first of all, I mean, there's a lot more of these guys. They cost about the same. You know, the Valkyrie's a little bit more expensive, and there's 3 times as many. Just based on that, you'd expect something like this. But I was still expecting more Valkyries to die. I think I underestimated how good this Bless was on Helheim for fighting into Van Heers. When I was first watching, of course, I'm not surprised now because I'm re-recording this. But when I first watched it, I was much more surprised. So very interesting. It's also going, if we zoom down here in the cave system, it's going to be interesting if Helheim wants to push or if they just continue devoting resources to Niflheim. Because this is Vanheim, and Vanheim is their neighbor on the surface, it's going to be very hard for them to just have like an isolated war underground. If they start pushing, they would probably end up initiating a major full-scale conflict with Vanheim. So with that, let's look at, there's some pretty interesting battles here. We're going to look at a really funny one right now. Again, I've seen this before because I'm re-recording this, but this is 5 Huskarls. These guys are not cheap. I think they're like 25 gold at least, I think. Versus a casual 2 PD. Maybe there's 1 PD. It's 1 or 2, I can't remember. These guys are going to lose. 5 giants versus 2 surly lads. And if you don't know why, it's these guys have a hand axe, low defense, right? Mediocre morale. What's happening? These are two-handed weapons. Two-handed weapons tend to be length 2. Hand axe is length 1. These guys are getting repelled. So repel already having a huge impact in this episode. So pretty interesting. So repelled, repelled, repelled. You have to be very cautious about guys with short weapons and bad defense. This is kind of like the problem with middle-aged Dom. Like the flail guys they have are really good. They attack twice. They're really strong. Except they always get repelled, right? So that's kind of like the thing. If you can stack morale on them with like a bunch of leadership items, they become a lot better. Okay, so that was really funny. Look at that. On the other hand, we have, this is a very low commitment raid from Helheim. Few Huskarls and a Hellkarl. And they're running into like 4 giants. This is going to be complete no contest. And then this was that expansion into the bump. So we watched that. Now there's only one thing really left to watch for this turn, and that is Vanheim. So this is also another, very similar to what we just saw with Helheim. This is another very low commitment attack. They've got, these are not that low. These are 50 gold. So it's a little expensive. There's, you know, 2... I don't know, probably 8 of these horses plus this guy. So it's like 600 gold, you know, but it's not, importantly, it's not the cap-only sacreds, which aren't just limited by their gold. They're limited by the fact you can only make so many of them a turn. Those are truly irreplaceable. These guys, this is a pretty good, solid raiding party, right? It's not going to do great if it runs into like major resistance, but it's more or less expendable. It's just gold. So they take that. So let's take a look at this situation here with Vanheim and Macon. So there's one thing that I think is very important with this. Taking this province is a very key province because there's a river here and it's essentially going to cut off these 2 provinces completely from Macon. There's no way he can go through this cold swamp and get here to protect these 2. So these 2 provinces basically with taking this are going to go to Vanheim this turn. This guy also being next to the lake can sail around it. So he's actually threatening 5 provinces. And this is a strong enough party to potentially sit on top of this fort. So he could lock down a turn of fort production. Or he could take some of these. Or, you know, do a combination. There could be other stealthy elves around here. The other important thing is that this big party of Van Heers, they could move either here or here. They could also stealth, but probably won't because there's barbarians mixed in. And I think this also had a dwarf in it. So basically, Macon has been doing anti-elf things. Like these are enough guys that they should just kind of obliterate 20 Van Heers if they pop up. Macon is basically expecting an elfing. So this probably isn't quite enough. But Macon's basically expecting an elfing. And Vanheim's like, hey, we're not elves, dude. We're Vikings. So, I mean, even though he did get elf tier a tiny bit. But Vanheim isn't putting a lot of chips in the, or he's not like putting a lot of eggs in the elfing basket. He's putting a lot of eggs in the we're going to come at you and fight basket. And these guys basically have two moves here, here. Here, I think that either are safe. This one's completely safe. This one can't even be threatened. So I think the best move is probably move a small contingent here to take this, because this is basically free, and then move the whole party here. Because these guys can't move here because this is a cold swamp. It's 2 away. So only these guys could move here, and these guys would butcher whatever that is, plus PD, I think. Unless it's lizards, and then maybe if there's like an enormous lizard PD dump, you could hold it. But I think that's probably the play. So anyway, that's heating up. There was a ping here on this throne showing them the Anuki of Sky. Muspelheim, not exactly clear with what their intent is, other than probably to still come up here and pick at the Niflheim. So yeah, we also see one of the things I talked about last turn was that this move from Niflheim was really bad because it's not really threatening much, and we're also getting to the point where like it's very hard for. So Niflheim also, or sorry, Helheim also moved off of the cap. The cap was sieged last turn, or 2 turns ago. There's no PD left on the cap, so I think one thing is we might see guys just bouncing back and forth on the cap. That's something now Niflheim's just got to prepare for, which really sucks. Like, how do you prepare to have your cap attacked by an arbitrarily large number of dudes? I don't know. It's hard. So that's certainly a concern for them. So basically, they need to protect their cap. They need to kill elf raiders, and then like they have a fort here. This is nice. They have a second fort. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is basically their life right now. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Turn 20. All right, turn 20. Here we go. I'm interested here to see the battle escalate between. So we're now past the part where I've recorded, so I actually have no idea what any of these are. But I'm really interested to see the Vanheim Macone thing play out. So let's start with that, since that war's just heating up. So this is the same party, and okay, so this is easy. This is the same party. I want to see where it goes, but we'll look afterwards. Here it's attacking, this is the swamp, and so presumably it's moving. Oh, it's just doing a small contingent. So Vanheim is playing very cautiously. My expectation was they're going to move the main army, but instead they just moved enough to take like 5 PD. Macone is attacking here with a major force. Okay, and there's nothing there. Vanheim attacks, presumably this is, oh no, this is Sal. Wait, what? Oh, this was a really weird kind of advanced thing, I think. Oh no, this was a Van Scout, okay. So he's pinging this to see what's here, sorry. And there's a lot here. This is a big army. This is a proper army. There's a lot of things I like in this. How I think this plays out is he's trying to proc Berserk with some archers up front, which I think is an excellent thing to do. If they're doing hold and attack, that can also mess up their formation. If they're doing all attack at the same time, it just is going to proc it early, which I think is probably a good thing, because you also want to get rid of some of the glamour charges. I think that's the main role of archers and peltasts. When I say glamour charges, I mean mirror image charges. And then I presume these guys are going to do most of the fighting with these guys filling in some gaps to keep them surrounded. I don't know how many Van here these can kill, but it's certainly more than 20. I don't think they can kill 80. But we're going to see. We're going to see. We just saw a bunch of Van here get trounced by Helheim. But we haven't seen the, it's going to be a different story against these Scales Macone troops, I think. Troll King's attacking Macone. Man, even the Indies getting in on this. That's rough. That's a good province, too. It's got Chasma Strange Lights in it. So, let's take a look. Oh, man, he kills the smith. I didn't even see this part. Ooh, a Smith with gems. This was a mistake. This Smith is an important factor in kind of winning these early wars decisively. Like, you really want to have that extra armor on these guys. Like, it matters. And where did... Oh, these guys went all the way over here. Wild. So these guys went through the swamp and over here. Super high mobility. I was thinking they were going to sail around the lake. Interesting. Does Macone really want to put an army in a swamp? There's only 155 supplies. People will starve here. And presumably, gosh, Vanheim is playing very, very cautiously. I wonder if they have some tech or something they're waiting for. Because that army now is certainly stealth. And it's either stealth here or here. And it's very hard to know which one. But what I think, here's what I expect. I don't expect Vanheim, with the way they're playing, to get defeated in detail. I think they're doing very small detachments for the raiding. And I don't think we're going to see any Van here in raiding. They're using non-Van here in raiding. And then I think we're going to see, like, if the whole army smashes into this, which is possible, like it might attack here next turn or attack here. If Macone is planned to defend broadly, to defeat Vanheim in detail, so if Macone is spread out, then Macone is going to get defeated in detail. And yeah. So that's sort of what I'm expecting, is one of these two provinces next turn to have 80 Van Heers in it. It's going to be spooky. Okay, let's go back up now to the Niflheim and Helheim conflict. Okay. So Chalk went up for Niflheim. Helheim is attacking Niflheim. This is almost certainly not going to have Niflheim defenders. This is what I was saying. That province he took is just worthless. Like, he can't even defend it, right? Because he had to pull the army back. So, like, taking a province that you have no hope of defending in the longer or in the medium run. Okay. Helheim continues expanding underground. I didn't actually know there were more things underground to take. Oh, he flew through. God, these guys are super mobile. Let's take a look at them real quick. Look at that map move. It's crazy. 26. That's wild. It's like playing birds. Okay, we have Niflheim attacking Helheim here. This is probably with the big army. Oh, no, it looks like he split the big army. Okay, takes that there was nothing there. We're not really getting a lot of good action here. We haven't had any armies really bumping into each other. It's been a lot of poking and prodding. And that's going to continue. So yeah, no action on the Niflheim front, it looks like. Just a bunch of territory trading hands. And it looks like it's going a bit in favor of Niflheim right now. But I'm expecting a bunch of stuff to jump on some of these forts. But we'll see. Very unclear what Helheim's doing. But Helheim's definitely up in territory for the war. Where is it? I think. Oh, no, they're not really. Oh, yeah, no, they are. Here's the start of the war. So they're definitely still up in territory a lot. And they haven't really lost much. Whereas Niflheim, I feel, has lost a lot. They lost a fort going under construction. I mean, they've lost a ton of gold. Helheim's lost a few things. But I think the losses for Niflheim have been far, far greater. Okay, let's take a look. What is going to happen? Okay, so this is just a killing PD. This is the marsh. Wait, oh, we already looked at... Wait, is this the same turn? No? Wait, what? I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm confused. I feel like... Wait, did I... Oh, we already watched this, because this already happened this turn. Sorry, guys. I'm slow today. Yeah, okay. So I think that's it. We've watched everything. Muspelheim taking this back from Indies. And they have this throne, the Throne of Air. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next turn. Turn 21. All right, turn 21. Let's continue with the format of watching Vanheim first. Okay, so I was saying I expect Vanheim to Doomstack, to not split up. But Vanheim looks like they're splitting up. Because there's 5 attacks into Macone. This is a very low commitment, light rating one. That one works. This one is the proper army. Oh, man. R.I.P. These guys are done. Macone just got defeated in detail. Right? He's trying to catch elves. He doesn't want to get elfed. He's like, I hate elves jumping up, taking on my land. You know, he's expecting a squad of like 20 guys to show up. This is more than 80. I think this is 100. One. That was 86 Van Heers. This is some of just the... This doesn't even really have to do with the nations, in a way. Like, it does, in the sense that you're clearly worried about getting elfed, right? So you're spreading out to defend against it. But it was like... But at some level, all nations face this, right? Which is like, do you combine in Doomstack, or do you spread out? And this is like one of the eternal questions in Dominions. And Macone chose spread out, and Vanheim said stay together. And this is how sometimes spreading out wins, sometimes staying together wins. This time, staying together won. And the thing is, while, like, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm not going to say that. But not because it's bad, just not really relevant. Oh, this is interesting. We have our first thug. So, and this is against a significant amount of PD. Blessing, Air Shield, Blurred Body, Personal Luck. Still hasn't used any gems. Mist Form, that's the first gem. So I don't know where he used the Glamour. The Glamour gem didn't get used. Yeah, okay. 69 fatigue is very high, though. There's not really a way to mitigate that either. Oh, I guess... I mean, this is actually a pretty good... Just the amount of HP this guy has with Mistform is a lot. A lot of times with Mistform, you get surrounded. I think part of the problem here is this was archers, and the militia routed kind of quickly. But if this was like 2 lines of melee, I think it would have gone a lot different. Takes this one. So these are both very low commitment raids. Timeless Waste. This is the main Doom stack. Wait, what? Don't... Wait, what happened here? This looks like a unforced error. Wait, how did this guy die? Who killed him? Whoops, commander. How did she die? Oh, he jumped on... I think this guy jumped on the commander? I really, by the way... I mean, the way how unit... I've said this before, but I really, really think this. I don't know a way... I don't know a way to get rid of it, but I don't think this guy was on attack flyer. He might not have been on hold enough, but there just needs to be a... When you have it where the whole battle hinges on the commander not getting sniped, like if people just lost morale or something when the commander died, maybe okay, right? But when you lose the whole battle, if the commander gets sniped, you have to be able to tell them to not be an idiot. Like the idea that melee commanders, like whose whole job is just to stand there and not die, like they're not supposed to be in combat. The fact they have to join combat is just stupid. It really is dumb. There's nothing good that comes from it. They should be able to sit at the back and command the armies, and people can try to get stuff back there to kill them. I really hope Illwinter brings back cast spells, or then just put another command in. Like, you either have to do something really smart and make the AI really good, so the commander tries to keep a unit between it and other people, and then it can be near the front line. That would be cool. That would be the best implementation. But the easiest one is just let him fucking stand still in the back. Like, why is this needed? Now, this may not have happened if he did hold ×5, but the guy still would have jumped in. Why, how does this make the game better? It doesn't. That's silly. Yeah. I do think McCone... Oh, here we get a battle. So this is a bit of PD plus Van Heers. And this is a pretty good thing for Vanheim often, right? Because you have the PD, they're going to kind of cause distractions while the Van Heers go blender stuff. These are mercs, I think. These macemen or spearmen. They did a great job at stretching out the Van Heers so that the Van Heers don't get to like form a line. And then these guys are just crushing them in detail. Like when they just show up like one or two at a time like this, and they've got these huge giants poking at them with these other guys, it's crazy. How are these guys poisoned? That's what I want to know. Like, how is that a thing? Like, who here's even a nature mage? What? Oh, there's an actual thug here. This guy, what did he cast? Yeah, I have no idea how this guy's got poisoned. I kind of want to watch that again just to see. Like, did Vanheim somehow get poisoned weapons? Oh, here we go. Well, this is how. Somebody cast Poison Cloud. Oh, or was that Sulfur Mist somehow? No. Oh, it was a mushroom. Fucking mushroom exploded. Well, there you go. Not how you want to spend 8 Van Heers. Okay. So this was the trade, basically, for this turn. Vanheim lost 8 Van Heers. McCone lost the whole army. So let's see what the battlefield looks like. Oh no, it's even worse. It's even worse. Vanheim has gotten in between the McCone army and the capital. And these guys are large, so they can map move 2 and friendly, but yeah, they can't move and attack unless they go here. But they can basically like base swap, base race with McCone, because they're now in between McCone's army and their base. And there's no way McCone's going to get enough stuff to keep them from going on top. McCone's options are like run at their base. No, they're in a waste. I was like, maybe they can map move 2 to this fort, because through friendly, they could maybe get there. If they protect this, protect it from like some kind of magic attack or something. They could maybe get here and be in time to defend their cap. This is really bad. Not only did McComb lose that army, which they need, I don't think there's a way for them to like combine forces and get back to the cap. I think the decision they have to make is, I think they go Doomstack into Vanheim, which is normally something I'm not for, unless they have some of their troops, like maybe the Gigantes can get back here and go defend. But the normal scales troops can't. And yeah, you could trundle back and like let your cap get sieged. And then knock them off of it. But you're giving up a lot of advantages doing that. And you're starting to give off like prey vibes. This is a really interesting situation. There's a lot of different moves that could be made. So it's pretty complicated to say like what would actually happen. But like these guys could come here and try to block these guys from getting south. They could stand here and assume these guys are going to backfill behind them and force a fight here. They could PD dump here, leaving a contingent of stuff, maybe small, that with a PD dump might cause a lot of damage, move the main force to the capital. They could move into one of these armies and try to chase it. They could just move down here, be like, this is ours now, and start raiding around the capital. It's rough looking. All right, let's see what's happening in the Niflheim-Helheim War. Just, if this isn't the most epic fight we've seen this turn, I don't know. Niflheim attacking Helheim here. Yeah, we haven't really... I'm a little disappointed, not in the conflict. I mean, I think these guys are playing smart. But I just want to see a bit more action. So far, we haven't seen many actual conflicts where they've chosen to defend or attack the same province. But Niflheim so far is gaining some land back, so this looks good. I mean, Helheim also has the option to peace out and go attack Mannheim. I'm pretty sure Niflheim would take them on it. If I were Niflheim, I wouldn't really want to be doing it. The problem then is Niflheim's probably looking for an opportunity to get you back later. But maybe not. So this is interesting. So this Nipple Giant got picked off because it's alone. This one's probably going to get picked off next. This guy probably won't die. He's quickened, so he's going to keep attacking. And these guys are on a clock. And that clock is almost done. Not almost done, but... I think this guy's going to die, and they might hit a wall here. I don't know if they can kill the... Oh, this guy's about dead, though. Because they're about to freeze. Oh, they got to kill one more, but their time is up. Oh, but they rout. It was so close. This is actually kind of funny. Okay, we finally got a conflict. Was it this one? No? Was it this one? 30 Valkyries a lot. I mean, this was very close. It really, honestly, this one was all down to positioning. If they didn't have such good surface area contact to like pick off the giants, which, you know, it's hard to have that perfect. Like, maybe if these guys were just on hold on Guard Commander, that might have been enough to swing it. Because it's just the fact that he sort of got picked off. But the problem with Guard Commander is, like, if you're in, like, a little starfish around them, there's still arms on the starfish. So it doesn't necessarily give you, like, less surface area. So I don't know if that would have really helped. Okay, the game state is changing. Starting to look worse for Macone. But by no means is it over yet. We haven't had like the decisive thing, but this is the first of the rocks kind of falling from Macone. And a matchup that I think was favored against them, but now it's starting to look like that's actually happening. And this is looking a lot less decisive. Like, even though Helheim had a good win here, where was the win? Here. I think this is, by the way, the right response for Helheim. Like, they are grouping up where, like, they're doing enough. Like, Niflheim's trying to spread out to protect a lot of stuff, and Helheim's like, okay, if you're going to group, like, spread out to protect things, I'm going to put enough to kill whatever you're spreading out. So, again, we're seeing that constant thing in Dominions, which is, like, should you consolidate or should you spread out? Okay, that's an interesting turn, and I think we'll end the episode here. So, no movement yet from Muspelheim. But they're going to intervene decisively in one of these conflicts very shortly, I think. They're still probably at the top of the graphs. Yeah, despite not doing anything. So that's strong Predator vibes, right? These guys are ready to jump in and kill something. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.